What up, everybody? We are live here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Morristown, New Jersey. For some reason, my phone will not tilt. I don't know why. I'm trying to tilt the phone, and it just does not want to work. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right. This is what you do with a low budget. Put on the shades. Got to look good for the folks. We are here once again, Buffalo Wild Wings in Morristown, New Jersey. Just going to give it a second here.
So the grapefruit IPA is the highest IPA we have. The next one under that is 0.2 APV, points lower, which is going to be the cane.
That's fine.
Cane?
Yeah, cane. Trying to put orders in here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Morristown, New Jersey. We are on our way to the MAC qualifier right now. I'm sorry, the Northeast folks. I always cover the Northeast, but we decided to go to the MAC this weekend to cover those boys over there. What up, C. Wallace in the house. Seawall, kind of wall. All right, this is not. Can you guys see yourselves in my shades? Isn't that how it works? I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We're gonna try to go through this not as quickly as possible, but we're going to try to move forward because we have 8 different rugby regions. That's the first thing I want to talk about. We're going to go through each region, and we're going to touch on a couple teams from each region. To be honest with you, we're not going to probably talk about some of the bottom tier teams in each region. I'm not going to do that. We're going to talk about the top teams in each region, who I believe will most likely go to nationals this year. We're going to talk about Major League Rugby a little bit. Some of those boys, which ones are going to jump on which squad. There are a handful of guys that are still undecided right now, so that or they're undecided, and some teams may be going to the playoffs. So as usual, rugby's kind of merging in at the same time together with 15s to 7s, and now we have MLR in the mix kind of merging in. So a lot of those boys from the top MLR teams may show up later on in the Club 7 season. Some of them may scratch it by that point. We don't know. So, but we do know about some MLR boys that are jumping on the squads this year. So there you go. We're going to go through each region, men and women, starting with the Frontier region. We're going to talk about the MLR boys that are mixed in, and we're going to just note right now that there's 2 open qualifiers this year. So if you're, I don't know if you're familiar or not with the format change, but it used to be each region would get 2 teams, most of them. A couple of the women's would get 3 teams, but most regions would get 2 teams each, and then they would go to nationals. This year, with hopes to get more competition at nationals, they have limited some regions to 1 seed and gave other regions 3 seeds. I think that's a great idea, although I think it backfired in a couple different regions, and we'll talk about that. The open qualifiers is a new thing for the men. There's an open qualifier June 30th. In the East and Virginia, and then there's another open qualifier the same day in the West in San Francisco. Now, if your team wins the open qualifier, you automatically go to nationals. And I found out earlier today, this may need some correcting, but from my understanding, let's say that you finish first place at one of these open qualifiers, and then you actually get to go to nationals by winning your own region qualifier. So let's take the Northeast, for example. There's 3 teams that are coming out of that region. If one of those 3 teams came out of that qualifier region and they won at nationals, the next team down would get to take that spot. So if Old Blue won the East Open qualifier, I don't know if they're going to it or not, but if they won the Open qualifier and then Optimus took second, and Old Blue ended up coming out of the Northeast region anyway, Optimus would take that spot in the Open qualifier, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, what are you going to do? You'll find out sooner or later. So let's go right into it. We got the first region that we're going to talk about is the Frontier region. And again, if you're just joining us, couldn't get my phone to flip, so we're doing this, whatever, this portrait style, landscape style, I don't know what you guys call it these days. But we are here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Morristown, New Jersey. We are on our way to the MAC Qualifier. Excited to cover that tomorrow. So let's get into it. Frontier region. Right off the bat, we're starting with Bulldog Rugby because Steve Lewis took them out of the Northeast and he brought them to Colorado. Now, like the Northeast, the Frontier region usually has 3 teams that could do work at nationals. You know, there's always one team in the Northeast or in the Frontier that gets snubbed, and they're probably better than at least half of the teams that go to nationals. So that's part of this new format, with hopes to get teams like the Northeast all in, teams from the Frontier all in. But then Stevie Boy makes things even more interesting, and he brings the Bulldog into Frontier region. So now we have Bulldog, Utah, Denver Barbarians, Kansas City Blues, and to throw it in, we have a Kansas City Hooligans team that Pat Clifton put in. So you add another, and Aspen is coming back as well. I don't know too much about their squad or who they're going to bring, but Aspen's coming back as well. So now you have this Frontier region. Yeah, you're allowing one more seed to come in, but better teams are joining as well. So someone's still going to get snubbed here for sure. Frontier, let's start with Bulldog. Some of the top boys over there, from my understanding, the goal was to kind of put in a collegiate All-American team as the Bulldog team. Give me a second here. I have to clear my throat. I don't really drink that much, but every now and then I'll have a brew. Not going to give away the name of the brew because, you know, Rugby 7's magazine's exploding right now, and I can't be giving away free sponsorship, all right? 1.2 million views through May and June on Instagram. What's up? What's up, Nike? Come on. Talk to me. Somebody talk to me here. Somebody with fat stacks, throw some down. All right. All right, so the idea was to be a collegiate All-American team. But there's some older folks, some elderly players that are still on the team. I think one of them's watching right now. I'm just kidding. There are some vets on this team. And honestly, that was my my worry. I heard collegiate All-American team, and I was like, that's sick. There's going to be some incredible athletes, but when you play at the top level, at this top club level, you're going to need some vets on your team. I don't care how old they are. You need experience to win a Club 7's national championship. You can't just come with skill. You need experience. On that note, we got Tim Stanfield rocking the Bulldog. Led these boys to nationals last year. Was an incredible player. I think that he should have already been at camp a long time ago. The guy is a winner. He's going to punch you in the mouth if you mess with him. He's a fighter. I love that he leads this team. Corey Jones is also there as a veteran on the squad. The rest of the boys are all collegiate All-Americans. Lorenzo Thomas out of Lindenwood. We've got Aaron Matthews out of St. Mary's. We've got Michael Bassnett out of Charlotte. And if you watch that video that I posted about Charlotte winning the D2 National Championship, you will see this kid go off. I think he put down 4 tries in the National Championship for D2. So that he gets a shot to play at Club 7's, the top level. What's up, D2? Let's see how you do in D1. I like that. I like that move a lot, and I like Steve Lewis for bringing that kid in. Tyreek Hunter also came from Charlotte, so that's a positive note for D2 boys to rock this squad out. Here's a name. Speaking of players switching squads, we have Marcus Tupola playing for Bulldog. Belmont Shore boy, gonna play for Bulldog Rugby. He had an intern there, internship. We got the inside news. I think he's studying, I don't remember what he's studying. Something with business. All you kids in school for business administration or business marketing, and then you don't even know how to run a business. I'm just kidding. I'm not hating here. So, yeah, Marcus Tupola is on that squad. J.P. Aguirre from Lindenwood, part of that national championship team that won in Colorado and in the CRCs. Beast. Any Lindenwood boy you get on the Club Sevens teams is a good pick. Another Lindenwood guy, J.D. Henderson. Another Lindenwood guy that just logged on here, Christian Rodriguez. Dude is a beast. Hulk status. Like, kid is good. Kid is good. I love this kid. He's a great player. Strong scrum half for sure. He could play any position in the backs, really. So that's a big piece to this squad. Who else am I leaving out here? Harley Wheeler from Life. That's a big pickup right there. And then last but not least, we have a returning Bulldog, Jihad Kabir. I know he's got a massive fan club, so got to make sure I give him a shout out. Jihad Kabir. So that's the Bulldog roster right there. They're looking beastie, and I'm loving Tim Stanfield and Corey Jones as the vets of this squad. All you young players definitely hear what those boys have to say, especially the man Tim Stanfield. You're going to need experience to win a national championship at this level. You're not going to need just skill. You need experience at this level. All right, let's move to Rugby Utah, Psych Peaks Rugby of Utah. That's right, the back-to-back national champions of Club Sevens is Rugby Utah. But with MLR that started up, a lot of those boys went to the Utah Warriors, which are right now on the fence of making the playoffs. And if they don't make the playoffs, you may see some of those boys dip down into this team. But what I'm trying to say here is Rugby Utah is not around anymore. They're no longer existent. But if you guys have heard of a team named Humless, they've been to a lot of elite tournaments. From my understanding, I don't remember them participating in Club Sevens, but they are an elite team that goes around. They'll play in Vegas. They'll play in their home tournament, the Pioneer Sevens. They have some beast mode boys over there. So they're going to be the Peaks Rugby of Utah. So Rugby Utah is still going to be kind of there. And a lot of these MLR boys like Javia Anufe, Joe Nichols, maybe Don Pati, Lance Williams, Vern Al. Let's see who we got here. Alakiza Kalagato, the Polynesian names that I can never pronounce. There's going to be some Rugby Utah boys that may jump on this squad, and because there's 3 teams coming out of this region, it is still possible for them to get through here. But it's going to be tough for some of these teams. They're generally going to release players for some. From my understanding, there hasn't been an official release that MLR is going to allow certain boys to play. But from what I have heard, a lot of MLR players are going to be able to play. Unless that flips at the last second. But I have heard from players and I have heard from coaches that some of these boys are going to be able to play. So that's how it's going down with MLR. Kyle Wilson started that team up with Peaks Rugby of Utah. Their coach is Andy Kotoa. He's got some Tongan national experience. That's pretty dope. Boys that are going to be there, like right off the bat, Addison Bates, Sayosi Lata, Vaha Tai, and Tony Falata out of UVU, Utah Valley University. That dude's a beast. He's a beast for sure. So, and then Pei Cooley, who made the Tonga Sevens camp. I don't know if he's going to play for them or not, but he made the camp. Props to him. He's definitely been in some Rugby Sevens magazine highlight reels. He's a monster. So Utah's going to look good as ever. And if the MLR boys join them, it's going to be even crazier. Look out for that. I think that they're down. If they beat the SaberCats by 2 points or more, I believe that they advance to the playoffs. It's very likely, but the SaberCats could also finish their season on a strong note and beat Utah. So many of these MLR games have been tight. Even though SaberCats, I think, are 1-7, they've had some really tight matches. So who knows what happens with Utah. You also have Willie Wolfgrim, Maka Packard, Jake Trembath, Leica Kanaki, Sayoni Tanato, Joshua Howden, Silas Johnson. Okay, let's move on to Denver. Denver, another issue with a lot of boys on MLR, but from my understanding, a lot of these guys are going to be playing for Denver as soon as the season's over. A lot of them are playing on Glendale, or from my understanding. Some of those boys are on Glendale. You have, let's see, you've got Cody Melfi that's in the race for USA Sevens to see if he makes the World Cup squad. You have Nick Boyer doing the same thing. You have Jeremy Missile Magata playing over in Seattle Seawolves. You have Kayvon Williams that most likely will make that World Cup squad, so I don't think you'll see him on this roster. You've got Eric Sykes, Michael Al-Jabari. I have heard Mickey Bateman may jump on this squad. And although he played for the Blues last year, he's going to be playing for Denver this year. That's not finalized, but I've heard that. And then Celester Azuga, Devrin Young, and Sael Maka. I love that kid. He's good. He's an up-and-comer for sure. He's a grinder. I like him. So a lot of these boys mixed in with MLR, so you really don't know like how well some of these teams are going to play in this first qualifier. And because there's so much heat over in this region now, not having a couple of these MLR boys may really play a crucial role in whether or not your team gets snubbed. Let's move on to, let me Andy Cato, I told you, okay. The coach of Denver is Steve Laporta. Kansas City Blues, snubbed last year in the final Frontier region. We're going to go through a lot of these regions much quicker than I'm going through the Frontier region, but there's so much heat in this Frontier region, it's really hard not to talk a lot about them. So Kansas City, Scott Cram over there as the coach. They're kind of in a rebuilding year. They've got some MLR guys that may jump on the squad. They've got some retired guys. Walt Elder, he's in family mode. I don't know if we're going to see him this year. Returning players, though, Kelly Mercer, Cody Weber, Ed Mills, Brendan Knockbar, Dave McDonough. You may see Michael Baska and Kenny Scott playing MLR. You may see them jump on Kansas City Blues. I haven't got any confirmation. They may end up playing for other teams. Kenny Scott may go east. Michael Baska may stay in New Orleans. I don't know yet. Other guys on the squad, Sam Chapman and Gio Falco and Jimmy Lills from Lindenwood. That's some heat right there. That's beast mode right there for sure. Those are good players, solid players. I think Sam Chapman had an injury that was lingering, so he didn't play at Nationals or the CRCs. But the kid is good. He's good. He would have made the national squad if he was healthy. That's for sure. Annie Matato and then Jabari Leopold from Iowa Community College is going to be playing for Kansas City Blues, from my understanding. That's some heat. And then we have a LU Belleville boy, Martin. Don't have last name or first name there. Other next team in the Frontier region is Kansas City Hooligans, Pat Clifton. Program started in 1964. They're kind of the Kansas City Rugby Club, the other team in Kansas City there. Pat Clifton left LU Belleville in maybe 2016, 2017. I'm not exactly sure the year he left. Came back, he left the Kansas City club, I think, in 2015. He was coaching the LU Belleville squad. He's no longer with Belleville. Came back this year to start this Kansas City Hooligans team. Let's see if they can make a run at Nationals. There's 3 seeds up for grabs. So from my understanding, there's a lot of high school kids, a lot of dominant high school kids that are going to be on this squad. We're going to have a couple LU Belleville squad, LU Belleville players. I'm seeing a guy, Gary Atito Kenya. I don't know if he's from South Carolina University, maybe. Alex Quinn from LU Belleville. Cam Branch. And then I'm hearing a lot of talk about this kid, Garrett Prince. He's 6'5", 230 pounds. He's got Eagle potential, but he's going to play football at UAB. But you'll see him this summer if you're in that Frontier region. Extremely young, but the nucleus is there. My understanding, they lost like a warm-up sevens match against the Blues by 5 points, so we'll see. Last team in that region, I think there may be a couple others, but the last one that may be packing some heat is Aspen. They used to run stuff back in the day with some Eagle boys. I don't know if some Eagle guys are going to show up in the squad. I don't know too much about the squad. I could not get in contact with them, but apparently Aspen's putting in a squad. Kind of upset with the women's region in the Frontier, the women's side of the Frontier region, because I reached out to some people and I just could not get in contact with a lot of these people. So I'm hearing a Utah Vipers team that's entering in. There's only 1 seed coming out of the women, 3 for the men, but 1 for the women. There's a Utah Vipers squad that's coming out. I don't think Glendale is going to enter a team. They were a team that came out of this region last year. But I don't think they're entering a team, although I hear there's a team called Rocky Mountain Magic, which may make up some of those Glendale players. I'm thinking Utah and Rocky Mountain are probably the favorites to come out of that region, but I have not been able to talk with any of them, so we'll see what happens there. Mid-Atlantic, where I'm going to be tomorrow once again. Guys, we're at Buffalo Wild Wings in Morristown, New Jersey, the Dirty Jazz. You got to be careful around these parts, where we are doing our best to stay safe. Mid-Atlantic, we're on our way to the Mid-Atlantic region. That's why we are here in New Jersey, because we're staying in Maryland tonight for that qualifier tomorrow. Schuylkill River, Beltway Elite, Nova, and Rocky Gorge. Those are your top 4 teams over there in that region for the men. Beltway Elite, we've got Jonathan Grasso. Actually, let me start with Schuylkill, because Schuylkill won last week on a down to the last second try. My man Paul Diario put it down to win the match, and Schuylkill took first, and that's a really, really big deal. See, last year it was back and forth between Schuylkill and Beltway, but there's only 1 seed coming out of this region for the men this year, so it is going to be everything really matters here. Every single match that they play matters, because 1 seed, that is it. And if you don't get it, you got to go to the East Qualifier. I don't know what teams are going, or if they're going to be able to win at the East Qualifier. I don't know. So Schuylkill Rivers first. Mike Birch is the coach of that team. Legendary Chris Ryan is passing the torch to Mike Birch this year. Although Chris Ryan's not going to be able to stay away. I mean, he'll probably be there tomorrow. There's some young lads coming in from what I hear. Some name drops. We've got Keon McLeod. We've got Jason Dunafo from Kutztown. We've got Mitch Vanoy. He's a beast. If you saw one of my maybe 2 videos ago, he was diving into the tri-zone, launching in to that Barbados tri-zone. Guys, Barbados, December 8th through the 9th. If there is a way for you to get to that tournament, I know Chris Ryan will be there. He will be there, or squared. Atlantis, going back to Barbados. Favorite, it's coming in. No, I don't even know. There's so much heat going in that Barbados tournament in December. It's crazy. Like, it's going to be a legit Rugby Barbados World Sevens. There's team from England, from Scotland, from America. I got to go back and look. But you could go to their website, rugbybarbadosworld7s.com, check out their team list. They have some heat coming in that tournament, and there's some money up for grabs. There's like 25 grand up for grabs. As a total, 25 grand. Always a good tournament for sure. What's not to like about Barbados? You see this, the water is amazing. It's amazing. And the food is amazing. My wife is in the background like, oh yeah, can't wait to go this year. Huh?
Perfect temperature in the water.
Perfect temperature in the water, she says. And the food is really good. You got to get you some swordfish if you go to Barbados this summer, in December. Boy, I'm missing out on Barbados again. Yeah, John, we need you there. We need you there for sure. All right, picking it back up. Pat Boyle, he's a vet over there. Ben Jansen, he's becoming a vet, or is a vet already. We've got Donahue played with them last year, but I have not got confirmation if Alex Faison Donahue, Austin Elite, they're on the cusp of playoffs. So if Utah wins by 2 points or more, then Utah goes to national or to the playoffs, and Austin gets knocked out, from my understanding. So that'll determine whether Utah gets some boys to their team, or maybe some of these other teams get some of the Austin boys on their squad. I'm not sure where anyone's going though in that regard. And then Paul, like I've already mentioned, he put that down to the last second try down. Paul Diario, I'll see you guys tomorrow. That's going to be a good tournament tomorrow for sure. Although I'm hearing it's going to rain, I really hope that the weather people are just wrong like they usually are, so that we get a nice, clean day, and I'm not drenched with a camera out there. Let's move on to Beltway Elite. Jonathan Grasso, coach over there. He's got Stars Rugby background. He is a star himself. He will be there coaching the Beltway Elite, who made it to nationals last year with Schuylkill. They're currently in second place. As I said, they lost to that tournament, down to the last second match. Glad to see MLR isn't creating their own sevens team. Keep club rugby. Yeah, I agree. My hope one day is that there would be a sevens league that would form out of MLR, although I don't know. I don't want to make that statement yet, because Club Sevens has got some heat, man. These are where the top Club Sevens players, in the top sevens players in the country are in Club Sevens. Like I've said, a lot of those MLR boys play in Club Sevens, so that's a big part of it as well. Last year, before MLR started, a lot of these guys were in Club Sevens, and now they're in MLR, and now we may see them halfway through the season, not at all, or in the beginning, depending on where they finish, like I've said. So yeah, we're going to continue here with Beltway Elite. Some of their top players on Beltway Elite: Dave Hightower, top try scorer last year, I believe. We've got Chris Saint, moved. I guess he moved. It's my notes here. Chris Saint moved. John Murray, he was a beast last year, but he's most likely out with injuries. Tyler Barberi is an up-and-comer, continuing to get better. We've got John Davis and Adam Markham. They're new players out of the Potomac Exiles. And apparently Adam Markham is a former 100-meter runner. So we always like to see those boys on the wing. Not sure if he's going to be 100% healthy, but that is a dangerous man to have. I've heard the name Kyle Miller out of Navy. I'm not sure if that's happening. They've got a Wales guy over there. That's all I got. Grasso's here, so he can name drop. But we're going to see him tomorrow, and you'll be able to see him right there on video footage to see how good they really are. They made it to nationals last year, like I said. Nova, currently in third. Coach Joey Trapillo. Great man, incredible man, great man. You're all great men. Pretty much the same squad as last year for Nova. But he says they're really deep. They are really deep. Some of their top players, Brian Molloy, if you remember, I gave him the top step at the 2016 Club Sevens National Championship. It was dirty. So dirty. The dude, broke his ankle and, fell down. It was, knee buckled. It was bad. John Lefevre, scrum half over there. Chris Marcelin. And the goal is to just stay healthy. Nova's in third. There's only one seed coming out of this region, like I've already said. So if Nova doesn't make a move in this tournament, they may already be knocked out. It's very possible. So tight race, man. You got to do something now. Speaking of doing something now, Rocky Gorge is sitting in fourth. They absolutely have to do something now. If they don't do something now, that's it for Rocky Gorge. They've got some impressive young players over there. Justin Owens with Mount St. Mary's. You've got Aaron Gray with Kutztown. They've got some good veterans over there at Rocky Gorge that have been around for a long time, but they're going to need to make a move fast. Nova halfback is legit. Brian Lloyd did fantastic for Capital Selects. Good stuff. see. So dirty. We've got JC Emmanuel Cleland in the house. Rugby Sevens magazine team member JC. He's here. We're going to talk about him a little bit. And we got Riley Mason, one of the better looking players out there on the Seven circuit today. He's a real pretty guy. Always catch him in the short shorts and whatever. Flipping off someone on the sideline. Nah, he doesn't do that. I'm just kidding. All right, women's is opposite though for this region with the Mid-Atlantic region. There's 3 seeds instead of 1 seed coming out of this region. Scion, obviously, the boss of that region. They've got Ali Gallagher from Enskro. They've got Nate Serevi. They've got Anna Karen Pedraza from Lindenwood. She was the MVP of the CRCs. It's a good player to pick up for sure. You got Lauren Rhodes. You got Maggie Miles and Kiki Morgan, the veterans that are over there, still putting in work. You got Jade McGrath. Some players from the Ireland Railway Union, from my understanding. And then you have Alona Marr and Abby Gustitis. Most likely, I would think Abby will make the World Cup squad. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to say something this early. Alona is in the running for the World Cup squad as well. But if whether they make it or not may determine whether they play for Scion in the Club Sevens this summer. Hopefully USA Rugby will show these players some grace that need to make a certain amount of qualifiers. I firmly believe that if they're playing like at a USA camp, trying to play for the World Cup or something big like that, and they're not able to make the limited amount of qualifiers, which is 2 from my understanding, they should be allowed in. The haters are going to hate, but they should be allowed in if they're trying to fulfill duties with USA Rugby. So they're going to be leading our country. So props to them, and shout out if they make it. That would be so dope. But yeah, Scion is the front runners. You've got Toshi Palamo over there and Joanne Liu running that squad. Ashton running that Rocky Gorge squad, by the way. So Mid-Atlantic, again, 3 seeds for the women, 1 for the men. We've got Scion as the front runners. We'll see you girls tomorrow, or women, or ladies, whatever the proper pronoun is. I've said girls before, and I've got corrected on it. I've said ladies, okay, women, okay. Whatever we got. They're all powerhouses, though. So, the 3 other teams that are going to compete for the to get into nationals will be the DC Furies, Northern Virginia, and Philadelphia. Philadelphia and Northern Virginia made it to nationals last year. The DC Furies did not, but they took 2nd place last week. So that's great that they took 2nd place. They didn't make nationals last year, but they took 2nd place last week, which means that we've got those 3 teams are probably going to fight for that 2nd and 3rd seed. And I will see them more tomorrow and hopefully grab some good highlights from those squads. Let's move on to the Midwest region. For the men, we have 2 seeds in the Midwest. Coach Dave Fee over there with Chicago Lyons. Shout out to Dave Fee, one of the cooler coaches on the circuit. Pretty cool dude. We've got Mike Ziegler. He's a veteran. He's spent time with Chula Vista with the Eagles. He's spent time with 1823. You always see him at the elite tournaments. He's back on the squad. You've got Alex Dorier from Indiana returning to the squad. He is a beast. And we've got Brady Gent coming back to Chicago Lions. They are going to maintain hot for sure. And then look at these names that I'm about to drop for the Chicago Lions this year. We've got Michael DeWall from Lindenwood, who played definitely big role in those national championship runs. He's a big man. He's a beast. We've got Malcolm May from Penn State that's joining them. Another beast. And Dion Gorilla Mikesell. Dion Mikesell, baby. What a monster. Monster on wheels. Monster running through the field. Like, if you're not a good tackler, you will die if you try to tackle this man. He's a monster. Lindenwood player. Plenty of highlight reels for Dion Mikesell out there if you follow us. Plenty of stuff out there. He's a beast. So that's a big addition to the Chicago Lions, especially after they lost Nick Feeks. Oh, did I just drop that? Yeah, Nick Feeks not playing with the Chicago Lions this year. If he was, oh my gosh, the team would be even crazier. But Dion filling in and other players jumping on board, including 2 South Africans, Gareth Gravenstein and Johan Joe Van Ziel. So we've got 2 South African boys that are over there. I heard that the South African guys are kind of good in rugby, so that should probably be a good addition. They've spent some time with Frankie Horn in the program in South Africa. So Chicago Lions looking good as ever out of that Midwest region. And then the second team out of the Midwest region, this is my beautiful wife. She's checking in on me. Everything is okay, all right? We've got some wings in front of me, so I'm going to have to go fast here. Chali Ballarara. I definitely butchered that last name, but he's a Metropolis coach. They went 0-3 at Nationals last year, but they are a good squad. They will most likely make it back to Nationals this year. Some of their players to watch for: Carter Beelman, Trace Bolstad, Teli Vemahato, Emmanuel Alberts, Jojo. Everybody knows Jojo. Tika Suva, he's MLR though, so I don't know when he's going to show up. Vasily Rinakama, I didn't see him on the roster, but he was a big part of the team last year. I don't know if he's going to show up. Chali says they have more experience, so we'll see what happens. Other teams in that Midwest region are Detroit, Columbus, and Chicago Blaze. Again, guys, we're here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Morristown, New Jersey, on our way to the MAC Qualifier. I've given you a rundown of Club 7s. I'm going through some of the top teams of what I believe in each region, trying to talk a little bit about them. And we're in the Midwest region now. And the next region is the Northeast region. But before we go into the Northeast region, let's touch on the women's Midwest region. 2 seeds are coming out of the women's Midwest region. Chicago Lions, I have been trying to reach them, have not been able to get through. Jeremy Nash is the coach over there. They make it to Nationals every year. I expect them to make it to Nationals again. I'm sure they've got heat over there, but unfortunately I don't have a lot of the name drops, so I apologize about that. And then Metropolis. I don't know if you guys remember, but Minneapolis Sevens was a team that made it to Nationals last year out of this region, coached by Olympian, big baller, USA Sevens, Garrett Bender. And they're merging in with Metropolis this year, so that's some more news for you. Garrett Bender is still coaching over there. Some of their top players: Kayleen Lundstrom, Libby Bird, both with USA Rugby experience. Katana Howard, Ellie Fromstein from Penn State, and Cecilia Hammond from Enscrow, who was a part of that dream team at the CRCs from Rugby Today. So shout out to her, and from Rugby Sevens magazine. All right, let's move on to the Northeast, baby. The Northeast region. Like I said earlier, a lot of the format changes with the seeds amount. The amount of seeds that come from each region. We've got 3 seeds coming from the Northeast men this year. Old Blue, baby, Old Blue. They will make another run at Nationals for sure. They are deep, very, very deep, and I have an MLR player that I'm going to break right now once I name the other guys. So don't go anywhere. It's your commercial beer break. Actually, excuse me, before I talk about Old Blue, I need a chicken wing and a potato wedge. All right, come on here. Honey barbecue, baby. Never mind, Caribbean jerk, sorry. And what is this one? Regular? Mild? Alright, one more wing and a mild wing. What? Alright. Here we go. Old Blue, head coach Dom Waring. Beast Mode. Great coach. Incredible man. Great coach. Nate Augsburger. Not going to be there. That's my understanding. He's not going to be there. So that's a tough blow for sure. Matt Jones, who played for AIC. It's sunny in there. Yes, it is. I got to look cool, Frazier, all right? It's all about looking cool. That's the only reason why I have these shades on. Can you see yourself? That's right. Yo, no lens. Aki, these are fresh, bro. You need some of these. You need a pair of these. Matt Jones is playing rugby over in New Zealand. AIC boy that played for them last year. Keenan Jacobs, another stud that played for them last year, playing over in South Africa from my understanding. Dylan Carrion. We'll talk about him in a little bit. All right, so top dogs on Old Blue. I guess let me just name the whole roster for you. Gavin Demore, Morrison, Connor Wallace-Sims, got the USA Sevens background. Mike St. Clair, who had the dirtiest of the dirtiest of the dirtiest step. If you haven't seen it, go to our Instagram or our Facebook, and you can see Michael St. Clair just do something so ridiculous, just filthy. That was sick. I actually did not think he had that in his bag, and I was there with the camera, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. He did it against Bulldog. That was beast for sure. Derek Lipscomb, legend. I mean, if there's a veteran anywhere on the Club 7 circuit, it is Derek Lipscomb. Motivational speaker of the year. This guy can pump you up. I'm just kidding. He is a great leader, incredible leader. Great leader, is someone that you want to play for. Rick Kirkland, fast as heck. Just so many wheels for days. Kyle Granby, Bobby McMahon, Phil Salter. You got Alex Schwartz, who is he's played for Old Blue last week. I think he's gonna be playing this weekend as well, but he's gonna be heading over to the Rugby World Cup squad, which bravo to Alex, who's made it on the USA 7 circuit. He got some playing time last year and this year in that last circuit. That's incredible. That's awesome. Well done. And he will be seeing if he makes that Rugby World Cup squad. He's going to go to that camp. If he doesn't, I'm assuming he'll be back. But he'll have those 2 qualifiers out of the way to be good for nationals. Najee Bissam, Oklahoma boy, football player, rugby player, scored a rugby try and a touchdown in the same day. Only person to ever do that. That is insane, and I need to hear more about that story because that's crazy. He is joined up with Old Blue. Some younger boys, Pierce O'Donnell, Connor O'Brien, Lamille Beal, Brad Nichols. They're all out of some colleges. Pierce out of Harvard, Connor out of Albany, Lamille out of Xavier, Brad out of Mary, Washington. And your MLR player that is joining Old Blue. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to release this name or not. So to protect his identity, which I think I'm okay to say it, but his initials are M.E. M as in Michael, E as in Edward, and he plays for the Sabercats. You should be able to figure it out from there. The dude is a freaking freak of nature, so I didn't say his name, but he's going to Old Blue. Breaking news. Breaking. I wish I had cool graphics to put this on here. But if Old Blue wasn't good, they're good now. I'm just kidding. How much deeper do you want to get? They're so deep. It's unbelievable. So deep. Spine is still there. He's helped us finish top 5 in the last 7 years. A lot of these guys have been playing together for a long time, so that's crucial in sevens. When you play together a lot, you start to just know each other, their character traits, the moves that they like to use, what their tendency is to do in a certain situation. That's a huge thing with Old Blue, for sure. Speaking of experience together, Mystic River also has experience together. M.E., yeah. You'll figure it out, Aki. You're a smart man. Mystic River. head coach, Josh Smith. He's in Bloodfest right now because I believe he's coaching the Enscrow team, from my understanding. We'll start with Adnan Obama on Mystic River, because the last video we posted of him has circulated pretty nicely. He broke 5 dudes on the Nyack team, and he did it so casually, like he was jogging. I don't know how he did it. That's a skill. Like if you're not moving too fast, but you just know it's like he's hypnotizing people out there when he's running. So he's a big baller on Mystic. You've got Jared Collinson, Flight Performance and Fitness. He eats nitric oxide for breakfast. The dude can squat 800 pounds. He is a beast for sure. Jared Collinson, he's a baller. Watch out for him. Chris Frazier, baby. Put your head down and just keep grinding is what he said. And he does that. Silent killer. He's a silent killer. He's going to the Rugby World Cup camp. Props to Chris Frazier. We did an interview with him not too long ago at last week's qualifier. He's going to Rugby World Cup. I believe that he'll be there tomorrow, from my understanding. But props to Chris Frazier. Getting onto that World Cup camp, that's amazing. I wish nothing but the best for Chris Frazier there at that World Cup camp. Also, from my understanding, Lorenzo Thomas, backup, I forgot to mention, I believe he's going to the World Cup camp as well. He is. So props to Lorenzo Thomas from Bulldog. Other players on Mystic River. A lot of boys did not show up last week, and they finished second anyway. So that was crazy. A lot of their 15 season was pretty long. So you should see this weekend John Coquinda, Ian Luciano, Eric Thompson, Sam Sorrell, Vinny Daly. I know he's had some injuries in the past, but I really hope that he's fresh because the dude is a beast. And then Steve Dasso as well, also a beast. Liam Clancy, a new player over there. He was a great standout last week for Mystic River. And then, of course, the Nigerian Nightmare, Weird Larry, Aki Raymond. Follow Axilla TV. He's doing some funny things over there. I think he's very vulgar at times, but he's a funny man. He's a funny man. All right, Mystic River, they're in second place right now. I expect them to continue to probably stay at that level. I think Old Blue will take 1, Mystic 2, Nyack 3, just like it was, not like it was last year, but I think that's what it would be like this year. Speaking of third place, Nyack, that's where they're at. Dave Katz, head coach over there. Chris Mattina, he's a no-go, obviously. He was with USA Sevens. He played a lot this year with USA Sevens. Bravo to Chris Mattina for making it to the USA Sevens squad. Not only making it, but sticking around. The guy has been showing up to every tournament, not getting an extreme amount of playing time, but he has been there. So bravo to Chris Mattina. I don't know if he's going to make the World Cup squad or not. But he's a resident over there, and he wasn't in Nyack last week, so I don't know if he'd be playing for them this year. I don't believe he would if he didn't make World Cup. We'll see what happens. They lost a lot of players last year. Doug DeBanks, Dave Haig, Joe Kelly, Dave Sneed, Dave Geib. Depending on his health, he should be playing with Nyack, and he may be there tomorrow. That would be crazy. Army boy, stud. Nate Brakely, obviously just a legend for USA Rugby. He's played in USA Rugby plenty of times. Jimmy Wolfer out of St. Joseph's, beast. I love the way the kid plays. He's another silent killer. You know, he's from New York, but he's a silent killer on the field. You know, he's just going to do the right things at the right times. He's not always going to be fancy, although that last Instagram post that I had of him was a pretty fancy pass. but he's not always going to be extremely fancy, but he's going to do the right things at the right time. He's going to be your workhorse. He's going to be in every ruck, like Jimmy Wolfer a lot. He's a solid player. He's error-free type of player. So he's on Nyack. Harry Bennett, Liam Kaborsley, this guy out of the Aussie suburbs. Apparently he has a connection with Dave Katz. He showed up last week. He was a beast. I mean, kick trying, chip and chases, and tons of steps and tries. The kid was in the try zone every time I look at Nyack. So watch out for him. Liam Kaborsley, Aussie boy that's playing with Nyack. Tosh Willicox, BYU boy. Gardy Laban was there last week. I believe that he'll be there this weekend again. That's a Navy boy. He is definitely a vet. Definitely a player that you want on your squad, but I do not believe that he will be available for nationals because of his military duties, which would really suck for him to make it this far and not be able to go to nationals. But nothing's confirmed yet. Maybe he will get to go. We'll see. Other teams in that region: Recovery, Village Lions, White Plains, Long Island. Recovery is kind of the original Bulldogs. They should most likely take fourth here. If it was anything like I saw last week, you will see Old Blue, Mystic, and Nyack come out of this region. There's no doubt about it. The women's. We're on to the women's Northeast teams. We've got some change-ups in this region for sure. There's 2 seeds that are going to come out of this region. They're no longer doing the whole, you play a couple qualifiers and then you go to the final qualifier to see who wins out of that. It's all, you combine the points to see who does well out of every qualifier, and the top 2 teams go. Now, Old Blue is gone. Old Blue is gone. New Haven, Village Lions, gone. But there is a team called the Empire Selects, and it's going to be made up of, from my understanding, Old Blue, Village Lions, and New Haven. You're going to see a lot of those players on the Empire Selects team. Ken Pape, director over there in Empire, big part of that team. Gary Hebner, big part of that team. Speaking of Hebner, Corinne Hebner, Frankie Sands, Corinne Hebner is in the All-American camp right now, but my understanding is that she will end up on the squad eventually. Frankie Sands went to England, so that's a tough blow for sure. Top players on the squad that you need to watch out for: Megan Banford, Gabrielle Dixon, Katria Sands, and Tan Estefani. Of course, Danielle Poe, she's going through an injury right now, so we don't know how much time she'll get, but she is definitely always solid for sure. Next team, New York Rugby Club. Were undefeated for a long time last year. The whole season, a whole qualifier season, they were undefeated, went into nationals. I believe they may have took 5th or 6th, 4th. They finished, towards the top half of the teams there at nationals. Lost in one of the cup rounds. I'm trying to remember, but Rizard Chadwick, he's the coach over there again. No doubt about it. He will have these girls ready to go. He's an incredible coach, man. The win-loss column that this guy has, his winning percentage must be like 95% or something crazy like that when he steps on the sevens pitch. They've got a lot of players that have played for Northeast Academy. They have some current collegiate All-Americans. You've got Shamara Robles out of AIC. You've got Lisa Roseland. Not Lisa Roseland. You have Sarah Levy and Mallory Billingsley from Life. And then you have some Northeast Academy girls and New York Rugby girls, obviously. They're also the same thing, but they've played for Northeast Academy, which, in my opinion, is a step up if you play for the Academy at some point in time. But you got Jen Solomon, Kristen Ciano, Jess Davis, Misha Green, Talia Brody, Gia Cruz, Justina DeBruzzi, Lisa Roseland. I believe that's it. So, New York Rugby Club, they're going to be a tough team to beat. Empire Select's going to be a tough team to beat. You may see those 2 teams come out of the women's region. Maybe third place would go to Beantown, who went to nationals last year. Coach Andrew Gottlieb. They're not as experienced as this year, but they do have some veterans. Don't get me wrong. Morgan Roberts, Kat Fellum, Fellaine, sorry for pronouncing that long. Claire Stingley. They all have Northeast Academy, USA Rugby type experience. So they may take second place. We'll see. But I think they'll most likely finish in that third or fourth spot. The other teams in that region are Boston, Providence, and Albany. So we'll see what happens there. On to the Pac North. Pac North. This is the most interesting region. Pac North, man. You've got only one seed coming out of this region, out of the Pac North. A lot of these teams need to go to that open qualifier, may need to go to that open qualifier if they expect to go to the Nationals. Because the teams out of the Pac North are Life West, WAC, Olympic Club, and then Sacramento Eagles and San Francisco Golden Gate are also in that region this year. I'm not sure of a couple other teams, but your top boys are going to be Life West and WAC like it was last year. Both of them went to Nationals last year, but this year only one of them is going to go. And this is a very interesting region, and I'll tell you why in a second when we talk about WAC. But first, let's talk about Life West. H. Ferris is the coach over there. Top players, Moses Falah, France, out of the France Academy, Jojo Vitaleva, Zach Bonte, of course. There's Devro Ferris. We'll see if he gets over there after MLR. Moni Tal, also we'll see if he gets over there after MLR. Kelvin Nell out of South Africa. And then you have Vitali Alatusi and Naima Falau. Moses Falau, that's what I was saying in the beginning of the France Academy. That's Naima's brother. Well, Alatusi and Falau, they're trying to make the Rugby World Cup squad. If they don't make it, we'll most likely see them on that squad. But will it be in time for them to make it to get the number one seed? I don't know. They may need to win the open qualifier. We'll see. The WAC. This is where it gets interesting. Wasali Sarevi, coach of the WAC. You're going to see a lot of the same boys on this team from last year, but a lot of these guys are MLR. Their whole team is almost MLR. And a lot of these boys are actually on good MLR teams that are in the top four that are going to go to the playoffs, so it's really interesting to see what happens. You've got July 7th and July 14th are qualifiers, and then you have June 30th and July 7th are the MLR playoffs. So if a lot of these guys are playing playoffs, they're going to miss the first qualifier, no doubt about it. And they may miss the second one too. I don't know. They're going to have to really pick things up right away. June 30th is that open qualifier. They may show up to that one. Or I'm sorry, they will not show up to that one because they're MLR. There's no way they're going to be at that one. So they're betting on making it out of this region. If they don't make it out of this region, then they're not going to nationals, which would be a tough blow, not for WAC, but for USA Rugby as a whole, because this team is filled with MLR boys, and it would be nice to see them at nationals playing with the top teams in America. July 28th, which is nice. July 28th is their Pac North Championship. So, the top teams from each qualifier gets to go to the Pac North Championship. That may play a huge role in if they get to go or not. So we'll see what happens there. Players like William Risalaka, Shalom Sanila, Aladdin Shermer, Dion Crowder, Matt Turner, Sam Luching, Mike Palfa, Peter Tiberio. My understanding is a couple Central Washington guys may jump on that squad. One in particular is Cole Sarconi. He is a beast, newer player to the game in the last couple of years, but he is a great player. He's going to be a good addition to WAC for sure. Moving along, Olympic Club, Colin Ollie. Shout out to the man Colin Ollie. He's been doing great things. Always got a microphone in his hand lately, but he's been doing great things. Great things for the game in general. Broadcasting a lot, Rugby Channel. You may see him in the World Cup mix. was out at the CRC event. It's really cool. He's the coach from my understanding. Top players over there, Bubba Jones from St. Mary's, Josh Tucker out of Cal, Jackson Cummings is a running back from Stanford that will be pretty impressive on the wing. And then you have Duncan Kelm, who is a USA Eagle that is also jumping on the team. Sacramento Eagles, San Francisco Golden Gates, the other teams there. Let's move on to the women's out of that region. There's 3 seeds coming out of that region. I am only aware of 2. So, and they're great teams. Life West again. You've got a lot of USA Rugby, Collegiate All-Americans. You've got Tiger players. You've got a lot of players on that team that are played for elite squads. Nikki Canyon, Nicole Strasco, Jen Severe, Betsy Cans, Sarah Bonapane, Naraya Persinger, Devon Gold, Madison Porter, Katie Benson, Ali Day, Mata Ingano. A lot of really baller chicks over on that squad. They should make it to nationals with 3 seeds coming out of that region. And then the other team, not Atavis, not Saracens, but they're going to be playing under the WAC this summer. A lot of the Atavis girls should be seen on this team. A lot of the Saracen girls should be seen on this squad. I have not caught confirmation on a lot of this, but I'm going to name drop anyway because I'm believing that they should be here. Natalie Fuller, Erica May, Christine Sommer, Megan Jansky, Ariana Bray, Janine Mary Duncan, Elena Cantorna. Some stars players, Atavis, and Collegiate All-Americans. They should be playing for that squad, no doubt about it. On to the Pac South region. We're getting towards the end here, guys. So out of the Pac South, men, there's 2 seeds that are going to come out of the Pac South. Some of the teams in this region are Belmont Shore, Santa Monica, OC Ravens, and Ombak. Now, this year, USA Rugby, from my understanding, has changed some rules around where they're allowing you to enter 2 teams into nationals as long as you enter them under separate SIPs. And my understanding is Belmont Shore is going to be entering into a Belmont. They're going to enter a Belmont Gold and a Belmont Blue squad. That's pretty awesome. There is some names that I can't wait to say right now on this squad. It's very possible that Belmont Gold and Belmont Blue could go to nationals this year, no doubt about it. I haven't got through to Santa Monica, but they should be the next team up. I've heard that some of the OC Raven boys and Almbach boys may be headed to Belmont Shore, and that's part of the reason why they're able to enter 2 sides. So we'll see what happens in this region. Most likely, no doubt about it, Belmont Shore will be one of the names that comes forward. Peter Co., head coach over there, led UCLA to a 2nd place finish at the CRCs. Bravo, bravo, bravo. We don't know if he's going to lace the boots up or not this summer. We will see. But you're going to see a lot of regulars. Arnold Meredith, he's out with a broken arm. But going forward, we've got Jack Tracy, Sayoni Maso, Peta Semaine, we've got Kenny Kenzo Navasola, we got Max Perinelli, Andrew Jackson, Danny Thomas, some Tongan international boy, Felini Ayangi, and then a Samoa U20 guy, Facicio Lacey. Yannick Mendez out of UCLA should be on that squad. Niall Berry and Kian Berry, they're going to be overseas. It was possible they'd play for them, but they're not. And the most exciting electric name that I'm excited to announce right now is Conroy Smith. Coming out of retirement, baby. Playing for Belmont Shore. He'll be on the pitch tomorrow. Talk about breaking news. Conroy freaking Smith is going to be on the Belmont Shore squad this year. That is exciting. Lightning on deck, bro. Lightning on deck. He's been doing his thing out there in California. I know he's been staying in shape because he works for like Orange Therapy or something like that. He's doing a lot of fitness stuff. So, bravo. That's going to be exciting to see. On to the women's region. So this is really breaking news right now for sure for the women. I think it's breaking. For most of you, it should be breaking. There's only one seed coming out of the Pac South for the women's region. And I most likely, the reason why they wanted one seed coming out of the Pac South is because the Surfers come out of this region, and Tempe usually comes out of this region, which, no offense, but Tempe has not performed well at nationals. So I believe that was the hopes, to maybe prevent Tempe from getting in, allowing another region to bring another squad in. But it kind of maybe backfired here, because we have, I'm building anticipation for this. So let's talk about the San Diego Surfers first. You've got Josie Silaka, you've got Megan Foster, USA Sevens. Kelsey Stockart's focusing on Rugby World Cup Sevens. I don't think that we will see her, but you never know. Tia Blith, also USA Sevens girl. She's playing for the Surfers. Maya Pfizer, Elizabeth Trulio, and Tegan McDonald, who was on the Dream Team at that Academy Women's tournament. She's on the squad as well. They are fit. They are ready to make their nationals run. They took second place last year, only losing to Atavis in the final, and it was a great game. They're going to be dangerous. But here's the thing. This is where the giving one seed could backfire here, because it's very possible the Surfers don't get in because there's another team in San Diego out of the Pac South called the Boogie Boarders. The San Diego Boogie Boarders, and apparently a lot of the Surfer alumni girls are going to be on this squad. And there's going to be some Olympians on this squad. The San Diego Boogie Boarders are coming with some heat, bro. You've got Devin O'Shaney, Lauren Daly, Katie Johnson, Bowie Barafila, Olympian, Sam Pankey, Sarah Parsons, Danielle Miano, and Kara Matthews. What names right there. Those are notable names that have been well known in the USA Rugby circuit for women. That is a baller team. They're not going to come as fit or as organized as the Surfers will be, but no doubt about it, they have some experience. So it'll be exciting to see which San Diego team comes out of this region. You know, I heard that they joined it because they knew two teams were coming out and they figured they'd get through. But now there's only one seed, so we'll see what happens. That third squad should be Tempe. I heard one of their better players, Nash Thompson, is actually over at San Diego now. So Tempe, I'm not sure who they have working over there. They made it to nationals the last 2 years. We'll see what happens. Moving on, we have two regions left. Now we are at the Red River region. This is another where I feel like it backfired, giving them one seed. Only one seed for the men out of the Red River region. Whoa, 12-2, huh? What are you doing over here watching baseball? All right. Sure. All right. Finish with me here, boys. Girls, down to the last second finish here. We're on the last two regions. We have, right now, the Red River region, which, like I just said, I'm kind of feel like the seeding thing backfired here. It's backfired in some, but it's done well in others. So what are you going to do? Can't get everybody in every single year. So Red River region has some top teams over it in it. Let's start with the Dallas Reds. Coaches Chris Howard, Lynn Howard. Great coaches. Dallas Reds made it to nationals last year. They went with the Austin Huns. This year, I believe it will be a different story. Maybe not for Dallas. We'll see. All right, so top players on Dallas. Jake Camp, Narada Jackson, Leaf Folodkai, Blake Bolton, and DeMonte Noble, baby. Puts down, baller, playing for Dallas this summer. Watch out, Red River region. DeMonte Noble is there to collect some ankles in Texas. So you better wear your ankle braces because my man DeMonte Noble likes to collect ankles. He puts them in his graveyard. See what happens there. Speaking of Dennett, and he's here now. The word that I've gotten is that can't even say his name. Dylan Carrion, baby, is back in the Red River region, out of Arkansas State, playing for the Dallas Reds, former old Blue Boy. Wow, that's a pickup right there. Dallas Reds looking mean right now. And then you have two South African guys, Faf Pelser and George Nahas, out of the Frankie Horn Academy. And we have Willie Knight out of Army. So Dallas is deep. They're packing some heat. They've got two squads entering in Bloodfest tomorrow. Excited to hear how that tournament goes. But once again, only one seed coming out of this region. I hope that all these teams go to the East Qualifier because one of these teams should be going. Dallas needs to be in that tournament for sure. Next team, the Huns. Austin Schindler's the coach. Jacob Lieberman was the coach last year. Danny DeVillers, coach as well. Sorry, maybe butchered that name. So not sure if some of the MLR boys are going to become a part of this equation or not. It may come down to whether or not they make it to the playoffs or not. But some of the top boys over there, Ricky Chestnutwood from LU, Damon Torres from Life, Ross Navarro from Texas A&M, Ryan Reese from Life, and then some returners, veterans, Justin Hale and Jody Reyes. That's the Austin Huns. And now, on to why I am upset that there's only one seed coming out of this region, because the New Orleans boys are in this region now. They've transferred from the south to the Red River region, and they are coming with some ballers. A lot of the Nolo Gold boys should be showing up on this squad. They did not make the playoffs, so they may all be there tomorrow. Some of them may be waiting one qualifier, but you really don't have room to waste here. One seed's coming out. You need to bring everything you got to make sure that you get there. This is my front runner. New Orleans and then Dallas. Those are my two front runners. New Orleans got some MLR boys on their squad. Dallas has plenty of heat, though. It's going to come down to one of those two teams, and if it doesn't, that's crazy if it doesn't. Joey Sock, he's hurt. Not gonna be there. You got Jack Huckstep out of LU. He'll be there. JP Aloff. Not playing with Chicago Lions this year. He should be playing with New Orleans. That's another MLR boy, from my understanding. He'll be there. We've got Will Crawford, Connor Bertrand, Malik Walker out of AIC, and now Nick Feeks, baby, out of Lindenwood, and Zach Young out of Ark State. Wow, those are top-of-the-line, top-notch players that are playing with New Orleans. They both probably will go into Nolo Gold for MLR. They will be there. We've got an LSU sprinter, Hayden Elias. We've got Cam Troxler, Brennan Falco, Matt Houston may show up on the squad depending on time frame, if he's going to make it or not, if Nolo's in competition. But Matt Houston at a Nolo Gold MLR boy, he should be there. John Sullivan, Mystic River last year, he's Nolo this year, baby. He's playing with Nolo. Transfer to SIP, and expect him to put in some work. And then Taylor Howden, I believe he'll be playing as well. He's taken on more of a coaching role, but we'll see. And some other Nolo Gold boys may hop on that squad, so we'll see what happens with Nolo Gold. That is exciting to see with New Orleans for sure. Oh my gosh. I got like Caribbean jerk wings over here. All right. So that's a deep roster. West Houston, baby. It's going to be really tough for West Houston to get out of this region. Only one seed is going out. I've heard some things that the Sabercats are going to be jumping on this squad. You know, Rugby Union said that they were going to jump on the West Houston squad, but they have a game tomorrow. And if West Houston doesn't finish in the top 3 tomorrow, I don't know how they're going to make it out of this region, given there's only 1 seed coming out of it. So without the Sabercat boys showing up tomorrow, it's going to be tough competition. But there is some ballers over there. Look out for Jan Cleland, Emmanuel, JC. He's actually part of the Rugby Sevens magazine team. He'll be playing for West Houston. We've got Brandon Median, former Arc State boy. He's going to be there on West Houston. We've got Jasper French, Gilberto Yiscanis, Rab Carlisle, Mo Muscari. Some good players over there at West Houston. I don't know if it'll be enough, but we will see if they can shock the tournament for sure. I'm excited to see. There's also some Scorpions on that team. I don't know if you're familiar with Scorpions, but it was a sevens team that I started up maybe 6 years ago. We played in the Tolo series in Texas. That's where most of my sevens background comes from, is a team called the Scorpions. And some of those boys are on this West Houston squad, so that's exciting. Red River region for the women. There's 2 seeds that are going to come from the Red River region for the women. Last year was American Rugby Pro Training Center in Austin, Valkreis. My understanding is that American Rugby Pro is going to be entering 2 teams into the tournament, and they may take those 2 seeds. American Rugby Pro may turn up at Nationals with 2 teams, like Belmont Shore may. Top players at American Rugby Pro: Christina Swift, Sophie Priz, Abby Vestal, a bunch of other ballers over there at American Rugby Pro. I haven't made contact with them yet. Partially my fault. I was not able to get my ducks in a row in time, but they have some incredible athletes over there. American Rugby Pro Training Center is doing an incredible thing for women, especially in America. Their academy is top notch. If you want to elevate your game, go to that academy. That's a great thing to see. So, and then of course you have the Little Rock team. A lot of those guys are over there at the American Rugby Pro Training Center. They'll be playing in the Red River region. Yo, Dustin, keep it. Thank you. I need that encouragement because I'm almost done here, baby. I'm almost done. It's got to be an hour or so into this. My wife is like, I hate you. Nah, she loves me. She loves me. She's cheering me in the background. Here we are, baby. That's it. That's it. Red River region done. Now we're here in the last region. And thankfully, I don't need to talk too much about this because the tickets are already punched. For one, that's crazy. The South region has already punched their tickets. There's 1 seed coming with the men, 2 seeds coming with the women. The South has punched both of their 3 of their tickets now. Team that's going to come out of the South region is Old White, Atlanta Old White. Everybody knows the name. They've been around the South for a long time. A lot of those boys jumped to the Optimist squad last year that went to Nationals, but now a lot of them jumped back. I don't know the whole story, but not all of them jumped, but some of them did. But they have some life boys over there. Colton Carriaga, the life coach. They won the 15s national championship handedly against Cal. They made a great run at the CRCs, lost to Lindenwood. That was arguably the cup final in that semifinal game. That was a great match. Xander Van Schlank, Duncan's brother, used to play for Life. He'll be a big part of that squad. You've got Austin White over there, some younger Life boys, Robert Frazier, Lou Vera. Drew Moyes is the captain. He's an Atlanta Old White boy. You've got Ross Harkesh, Brady Piggers. It's tough to say how good this squad will be with only 2 qualifiers. My understanding is that they will be at the Cape Fear Sevens and the Hotlanta Sevens, so that should be exciting. It'll be exciting to see some of these life boys on Atlanta Old White at Nationals. We'll see what happens. They've already punched their ticket before teams have even played one of their first qualifiers, which is crazy to me, but it's just the way the chips fell. So Not a lot of time together, but they have some time to get ready for it. Nationals is August 12th through the 13th. Oh yeah, I haven't announced where the National Club Sevens National Championship is going to be this year. I haven't announced it yet, and a lot of you guys that left this live stream are now not going to see the breaking news. They're going to have to come back later to see it. I've got exciting news here, baby. It depends on where you're going to travel. But let me finish this South region real quick. So that's coming out of South, Old White. And then the women's teams are Atlanta Harlequins, which are powered by Optimus. They've locked their seed up, number 1 seed out of South. Some of their top players are Monique Compito, which is the captain of the team, Marcel Nelson, and then you have Chichi Chukwalk. I probably pronounced that wrong, but those are the other players that are coming out of Atlanta Harlequins, powered by Optimus. Those are the top ballers over there. And then last but not least, the Phoenix Rugby 7 squad will be the other team that comes out of the South region. Majali, some of their top players, Magali Harvey, Beth Harvey, Chris Hall, who's the captain, and Morgan Freeman, who's going to try to be an All-American, not the Morgan Freeman that you know. She must get that so much. Mary Zoli is an up-and-comer for Phoenix Sevens. Beth is part of the AIC squad. Chris Hall played for Miami. Morgan played for Miami. Also, Chris Hall is coach of UF over there. And Morgan's looking to go to Lindenwood in the fall. So, good stuff there. We just went through every single region in order. If you're joining us now, we went through each region in order, so you should be able to, go back and scroll through the time, the little timey thing at the bottom there to see where your region was talked about. I'll give a quick outline of who I believe will come out of each region right now. Why not? What the heck? I'm all about predictions. I've got a 36-6 record. Talk to me. All right, Frontier region. I've got Barbarians are coming out, no doubt about it. I think the Bulldog will come out, and it's between Kansas City and Utah to see who will grab that 3rd seed. I'm not gonna say. What the heck? I'll say Utah. Utah will come out. Those 3: Utah, Bulldog, and Denver. They'll come out of Frontier. For the women, there's only 1 seed. It's going to be Utah or Rocky Mountain Magic. If Rocky's made up of Glendale and they make it again, they'll go. I think Utah's coming out of that region if they're participating. If they are, they're Utah. If they're not, then Rocky Mountain. Mid-Atlantic, only 1 seed. You got Schuylkill, Beltway Elite, Nova, and Rocky Gorge. This is probably the hardest call to make. It really is. I can't even make this call. I'm going to be at the tournament tomorrow. It's going to come down to Schuylkill or Beltway Elite, just like it did last year, probably. Schuylkill won by 1 try at the last second. How can you predict this? You can't. I'll take Schuylkill because they're in first now, and that's why I'll take them. But Beltway could definitely jump them and take this for sure. In the women, Scion's going to come out of this region, number 1, no doubt about it. And DC Furies, Northern Virginia, and Philly. I'll go with DC and Northern Virginia. Will be the other 2 seeds coming out of that. Midwest region. There's 2 seeds coming out of that. I have Chicago Lyons and Metropolis. The women's, I have Chicago Lions and Metropolis. Northeast, I have Old Blue, Mystic River, and Nyack for the men. And I have New York Rugby Club and the Empire Selects for the women. Out of the Pac North, there's only 1 seed coming out of this region. If you go back and scroll, this conversation is very in-depth. It's very hard. There's MLR players. Who's going to the Open Qualifier? The better team in this region is Washington Athletic Club. No doubt about it. They are the best team in this region with all the MLR boys that they have. They should come out of this region. Maybe Life West grabs that Open Qualifier. Almost done. Women's, there's going to be 3 seeds coming out of that. Life West, no doubt about it. WAC, no doubt about it. And I'm not sure who that 3rd seed is going to be. Pac South, I think Belmont Shore is going to bring both of their squads through. Like I said, if you scroll up, you'll see that conversation. Belmont taking 2 teams out of the Pac South. For the women, it's going to come down to the Surfers and the Boogie Boarders. Man, Surfers are in better shape, but Boogie Boarders have so much experience. I hate making this call, but I'm just going to go with the Boogie Boarders because they've got experience. Red River region for that 1 seed for the men. I'm going to take New Orleans if they show up with their MLR boys. I'm taking Dallas if they don't. Either way, it's going to come down to the last second with Dallas and Nolo. Either one of those squads could grab this. I'm hedging to Nolo, though. For the women, I think American Rugby Pro Training Center will probably take 2 seeds. 2 seeds out of this region, just like Belmont Shore should. And then the South is already locked up. Old White is coming out of the men's and Atlanta powered by Optimus, and Phoenix is coming out of the South. So that's it, guys. We went through every single region. We talked about a lot of MLR boys. Again, we're at Buffalo Wild Wings in Morristown, New Jersey. Been talking for about an hour and 20 minutes now. I'm going to be at that MAC qualifier tomorrow. And now let's talk about the big exciting news. Where will the Club 7's national championship be this year? Okay, so now there's 2 cities in the running for it right now from my understanding. From my understanding, it should go to one of these 2 cities. There's some things that need to be worked out. New York was the front runner, which I am so happy about because I live in New York. Awesome. They're the front runner right now, but there's some issues working out with the fields. Can they get the right regulation sizes, bids, all those things like that? Kansas City is the other city that's front runners. So Kansas City and New York City are the front runners of where nationals will be this year. I will let you guys know, or USA Rugby will let you know before I let you know when that confirmation has been made. But that's some exciting news. If it gets to go to New York, I would love that. I would love to see it in New York. Oh, I would love to see it in New York. Finally, bring this back on the East Coast. Come on. Colorado, California, every dang year. Not just for club, but most rugby's California, Colorado, all the big stuff. I'd love to see it in the East Coast. Anyhow, that is it. I'm Dustin Rosen with Rugby Sevens Magazine. We appreciate all the support that you give. We encourage you to continue to support us. We do this a lot on our own dime. But 1.2 million views on Instagram through May and June. Like, that's sponsorship worthy, I would say. So we'll see if the right brand comes along. We're not going to just brand with anyone. You know, if Coca-Cola comes along and they're like, Coca-Cola is good for rugby, you want to sponsor? We're not about that life, bro. Coca-Cola is not good for you. Soda is not good for you. So we're not going to be branding with soda. If we are, we will make that very clear that soda is not good for you and that they're just a supporter of rugby. So props to Prove It. Prove It ketones. I got that ketones though, bro. If you want some ketones, if you want some energy, I take that myself. It's incredible. It puts your body in instant ketosis. They're called Prove It, and I can get you the packs for them. They're not cheap, but they do work. They're incredible. So that may be a potential sponsor. We'll see. Buffalo Wild Wings, right there. I just gave you so much exposure to millions of people. So talk to me, Buffalo. Signing off. We'll see you at the MAC qualifier tomorrow. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Instagram story will be active tomorrow. Peace out, homes. Down to the last second.